Hello and welcome to Global Oak VFX Solutions, and in today's tutorial we are going to be covering several topics, and today we are going to be discussing the menu and the file panels and what they actually do stand for. These shall include the file menu, edit, clip, sequence, marker, graphics, view, window, and help. These are usually found at the top of the interface. So let's begin with the file menu. If you click on it, it gives you the following options. Topping the list is the new tab. If you hover your cursor over it, another panel opens with more options. So depending on what you want to do, you can open a new project, production sequence, and a whole lot of other options which we'll be talking about later. You'll find this open production. Open production is like something you previously saved, and if you click right here, it is going to give you the option to open this open production open, and then you will have to browse to where you had saved it previously, but for now that is not important, so I'll cancel that. As we proceed over here, you get this open recent tab over here. This Open Recent tab denotes all the projects that you've been working on in the past. So it's like it makes work much easier instead of just browsing the files and folders looking for the projects you were doing previously. And this close tab here with the Control W is you can close a panel, or you can choose to close the whole project. So you can choose a production, you can close all projects if you're working with multiple projects, and you can close all other projects and remain with one. You can refresh your projects over here, and this save tab is very important. If you're working on a project, you would need to be like saving, even though Adobe Premiere is equipped with the autosave, it can be saving, but I would rather you save manually. And this save as tab over here and the shortcut key of a Control-Shift-S is if you want to change the name of the project that you are working on, and you can save it also as a copy, and the shortcut key is Control-Alt-S, and then you can save all, whatever that is on the timeline. You can revert to a previous project, and this one over here, the capture, and the shortcut key is F5. As I had mentioned on my previous tutorial, it's for capturing DV footage from mini DV cameras and all that, but via the use of a FireWire. So this, you can batch capture the tape footage, and then this link media here, I'll be covering it later and in much deeper detail. But first of all, let me just explain the panels. You can choose to make a clip on the timeline offline. This a dynamic link. This is the good stuff now. This is when you're working in conjunction with After Effects, which is another Adobe product that is used for video production, for SFX and all that stuff. But for now, I'm just covering the panels, and we'll be talking about this procedure. The Adobe dynamic link in itself is going to be a topic in itself. So this import media browser is like grayed out, but it's for importing stuff into the software. So this is where you get to import stuff from. The import tab, which is the shortcut key is Control-I. And when you hit this one, it takes you to the folders where you can get to import media into the browser. So import recent file, you can just import a recent file. And here is the export tab. This is where you export your media after you're done editing it on the timeline and everything. The get properties for is you can get properties for the file, or the selection, which is on the timeline. And then over here is the project settings. When you hover your cursor over it, it's going to give you other options like the general, scratch disks, and ingest settings. We'll be covering this much later in detail, but let me just explain the panels and we'll talk about that. Over here you find the production setting, this open production and this production settings. So it's all about the dimensions and everything. The project manager, as I say, like Anoga, the project manager is where the browser is at. So if you click over here, it's going to take you direct into the project manager. And over here, with this shortcut key of Control plus Q, you can exit the whole project, or the whole, actually you can exit the software. So over here we have the edit tab, and under it you get this undo and redo, cut, copy. It is basically what it's saying. It is for editing stuff. It has these options, even though they are grayed out. We'll actually get to explain them to you, because once we get into them deeper, I'll be telling you what they actually mean. But first things first, let's just run over them. This is for copy. You can copy, and these are the shortcut keys. As I was saying, these are the shortcut keys over here. You should get to familiarize yourself with them because they can help you a lot. And this is paste, insert, and paste attributes, remove attributes, clear. These are the shortcut keys. And ripple, delete. Once we start covering the tool bit of it, I'll be showing you what is ripple, delete, and all that. You can duplicate a project. You can select all things on the timeline. You can select all matching. That is, if you save them with the same like numbers, because some other cameras get to give you, they are numbered, the clips are numbered. So you can get to select the clips that are the same, and you can also get to deselect. When you've selected all, this is the option to deselect all. You can find stuff, remove unused clips. You can consolidate all the duplicates, but this is not like what you need to know right now. There's this clip over here, this clip. For example, I click on this clip over here and click here. It's going to give me the option of renaming the clip and making it a sub clip, editing a sub clip, and editing offline. This, I don't want to take you deeper into it before you get to the rudiments, but basically this is what it does. It is explaining what you can do to your clip. You can modify it. You can get the video options like frame hold, add a frame hold, insert frame hold, field options, time interpolation, scale to frame size. This, as they might be sounding to you, the beginner, they might be so confusing. But let me just say, let's cover the panels. Much later, we'll be actually getting into all this. So this is the sequence tab. Over here is where you get the sequence settings. If you click over here, it's going to give you this, the sequence settings panel. And over the sequence settings panel, you get this editing mode. This is the DSLR. And if you click over here, you get a whole lot of different cameras and stuff like that. But they all digital SLR cameras. Okay? Over here, it's the time base, which is the frame rate in some other parlance. Still under sequence. You can get to render effects in the timeline. The markers tab is where you can get to mark. These are the markers on the timeline. You can get to mark your project in, mark it out, mark the clip, mark selection, and mark split where you have just split the clip. Go to in, go to out. Basically, markers are there for making your work easier so that you don't forget what you were doing on the timeline. You can add markers, you can clear markers, you can go to the next marker, you can go to the previous marker. And as I keep reiterating, these are the shortcuts keys right here. You can see all of them. It is necessary that you get to familiarize yourself with them because they make editing much more fun and easier. So let's go to the graphics section. Over here, this graphics portion is where you can get to install motion graphics templates, but this is much more advanced. You can create new layer, a new text layer, and you can create a vertical text layer, and you can create a rectangle, you can create an ellipse, and you can create a new layer from file. You can align the graphics, you can arrange them, you can select the graphics, and if you hover your mouse over it, you could get the select next graphic, select previous graphic, select next layer, select previous layer. So basically what I'm trying to say, all these panels have their functions, and in the view function over here, you can get to choose your playback resolution. This is over here on the program monitor. You can either choose half resolution, quarter resolution, an eighth. Full resolution actually tends to use more CPU power. These panels are self-explanatory. If you just take your time to read them, you know what they just mean. And over the window panel over here, the top most is where you get the workspaces. And this means this is the tab where you can get to change what the workspace looks like. For example, all panels over here, if you hover over the workspaces thing, you get all panels, assembly, audio, color, editing, and these, I keep telling you, are the shortcut keys to all this. The audio panels, the editing panel, effects panel, graphics panel, learning, libraries, meta-logging, production, reset to save layout. This is where if you see your workspace is all jumbled up and you can't maneuver your way around it, you can reset to a saved layout and save changes to this workspace and save it also as a new workspace. You can create your own template over here, and you can edit workspaces and import workspaces from other previous projects. So the help tab over here is for like going online. Let's just say basically it's for an online tab where you can get PremierPro help, in-app tutorials, and log files, and get feedback, system compatibility report, manage your Adobe account, Creative Cloud account. You can sign in from here and get updates and all about Adobe Premiere. So simply put, we've just covered all the panels on top of there. But what we are going to do next is just go down here where I was telling you about the workspaces. You see all this stuff over here is this stuff over here. Okay? They made it easier. Instead of you going looking for them over here, workspaces and all that, they just simplified the job and just placed them over here. So if you click on learning, you get all these PremierPro tutorials if you're like new and everything. So if you click on assembly, it changes the face of the whole setup. Editing tab, you get the panels for editing, color correction, effects, audio, graphics, libraries, and all that. So basically what we've covered today is just the panel at length, but in our next tutorial, I'll be showing you how to edit. Thank you.